Hi everybody, this is Isam. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about inverse functions. I'm going to start with a little example. Suppose we have two functions, f of x equals 4x and g of x equal 1/4 x. And suppose we take x equals 2, I start with x equal 2, and plug that in the function f of x. So f of 2 equals 4 multiplied 2, you will get 8. And let's take this new number 8 and plug it in the other function g of x. G of 8 equals 1/4 times 8 equals 2. And we get in the same number that we started. We get the same number that we started. Notice we started in the function with x equal 2, and we get some new number, whatever it is, and we plugged this new number in the other function. After calculations, we are right back to the started function, to the started x value, to the started value. One more example. If we put x equals -2, x equals -2, and plug it in the function f of x, so f of -2 equals 4 multiplied -2, you will get -8. Take this new number and plug it in the other function, g of -8 equals 1/4 multiplied -8, you will get -2. -2. We are back where we started. You get back the original starting value of x. This is the big idea of the inverse function. This is the big idea of the inverse function. So, let's write down the numbers that we substitute and we get. When we put x equals 2, we got y equals 8. And when we put 8 in the other function, we get y equals 2. And when we started by -2, we get -8. When we put -8, we got -2 in the other function. So you can notice that the values of x and y flip-flop, they switch off flip-flop. 2 and 8 became 8 and 2. This is the big idea of the inverse function. So the big idea, a function f of x, and its inverse f minus 1 of x undo each other. Like many operations in math, like addition and subtraction, they undo each other. Multiplication and division, they undo each other. Now, we can label g of x as f inverse of x. So the original function f of x equals 4x. Since g of x is the inverse function, we can label it as f minus 1 of x equals quarter x. This is the function, and this is the inverse. Good. This is the concept of the inverse function. They undo each other. And if you know that for any function, the x component or the x value is the domain, and the y value is the range. In the inverse function, the domain became range, and the range became domain. You see, domain became range, and range became domain. This is the function and its inverse. I need to ask yourself a question. The question is, But before the question, there is a warning or notice, which says that if minus one of x is not an exponent, this means it doesn't equal 1 over f of x. This is not correct. This is what you have to take care about it. I'm sorry. The question: do all functions have inverse functions? The answer is no. If no, why not? Why not? Let's see. If you have a simple quadratic function y equals x squared, okay, and when x equals 2, you can see that 2 squared 4, this point 2 and 4. And when x equals minus 2, you can see that minus 2 squared also 4. This point minus 2 and 4. If you tried to find the inverse function, let's draw it. If we tried to put 2 and 4 on the inverse function, you have to switch off the two numbers. 2 and 4 will become 4 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 2. 4 and 2. 4 and 2. And the point minus 2 and 4 will become 4 and minus 2. 4 and minus 2. This point. 4 and minus 2. Since the x coordinates the same, these are 2 points on the graph. If you draw a vertical line, it will pass by 2 points. This means this is not a function. So this quadratic function has no inverse function, has no inverse function. Another example. Let's study the function f of x. Say f of x equals 2 to the power x, the exponent function. If we choose x equals 1, 2 to the power 1, 2, this is 1 and 2. If we put x equals 2, 2 to the power 2, 4, x 2, 4. This point 2 and 4. Let's take a point in the negative part of x-axis. Negative 1, 2 to the power negative 1. If x is negative 1, this means this point is half. Negative 1 and half. If we put x equals negative 2, 2 to the power negative 2 will be quarter. Negative 2 and quarter. 1 over 4. Let's draw the inverse. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. The point 2 and 4 will be 4 and 2. 1, 2, 3 will be 4 and 2. 4 and 2. This is 1. 4 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 2. 4 and 2. 4 and 2. The point 2 and 1 will be 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 1 and 2 will be 2 and 1. 2 and 1. 2 and 1. 2. This point is 4 and 2. This point 4. 4 and 2. A little bit higher. 4 and 2. And 2 and 1. This is 2 and 1. 2 and 1. This point will be half and minus 1. Half and minus 1. Half and minus 1. And this point will be quarter quarter and minus 2, this point. If we connect these points, you can see that this is a function, because any vertical line will cut the new function at only one point. So the exponent function y, or f of x equals 2 to the power x, has an inverse function. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and you understand the concept of the inverse function, and we're gonna to study a new video about the inverse function, but at least now we understand the meaning of the inverse function. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.